President Biden and former President Trump win in Michigan as a group of Democratic voters use the primary to send a message. And wildfires in the Texas Panhandle result in the temporary shutdown of a nuclear weapons facility. The Morning Rundown starts now.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world. This is the Morning Rundown.
Today is Wednesday, February 28th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kara Rucker. The results from Michigan are in, and both President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump easily won their party's primaries. While Biden received 81% of the Democratic vote, 13% of voters chose the uncommitted option in protest of the president's handling of the Israel-Hamas war and demanding Biden call for a ceasefire. Michigan has the largest Arab American population in the nation. Trump, meanwhile, continued his sweep of the early states, taking 68% of Michigan's GOP vote. Nikki Haley received 26%. Despite not winning a primary yet, Haley has vowed to remain in the race through next week's Super Tuesday. There was optimism by congressional leaders on averting a government shutdown following a meeting with President Biden at the White House on Tuesday. The president hosting House Speaker Mike Johnson, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, along with Vice President Kamala Harris. Schumer speaking to reporters following the meeting.
A productive meeting on the government shutdown. We are making good progress. We made it very clear. The Speaker said unequivocally he wants to avoid a government shutdown. We made it clear that that means not letting any of the government appropriations bills lapse, which means you need some CRs to get that done. But we're making good progress, and we're hopeful we can get this done really quickly.
Along with ways to avoid a shutdown before Friday's deadline, the meeting also focused on additional aid to Ukraine, which has been stalled in Congress. Schumer describing the talks on Ukraine as intense, saying leaders from both parties called on Speaker Johnson to pass the Senate's bipartisan funding bill. Johnson says the House is actively pursuing all options on the bill, but says the first priority for the country should be securing its border. The United States announced it will be providing $53 million in additional humanitarian aid to the people living in Gaza and the West Bank as the war between Israel and Hamas continues. Much of the aid will go to food assistance, with the U.S. Agency for International Development saying 2 million people in Gaza are at imminent risk of famine. U.S. officials have sounded the alarm of the lack of trucks entering Gaza, with 85 trucks a day entering through the Rafah crossing last week, down from 500 before the start of the war. White House officials saying the new package will bring the total amount of aid delivered by the U.S. to Gaza during the war to $180 million. Wildfires in the Texas Panhandle are resulting in evacuations and power outages for thousands of residents. A nuclear weapons facility was forced to temporarily shut down Tuesday, but this morning officials saying it will be back open. More than 250,000 acres have burned. Wind speeds up to 60 miles per hour and a record-breaking late winter heat wave producing temps in the 90s and hundreds in some portions of the state are helping to fuel the wildfires. It's unknown how many homes have been destroyed. Governor Greg Abbott issuing a disaster declaration for 60 counties. In at least one location, the fire has grown to more than twice its size since sparking on Monday. The cause of the wildfires is under investigation. After 2.5 years, Starbucks and Workers United have agreed to begin negotiations for collective bargaining agreements and organizing for nearly 400 unionized stores. The coffee chain and the union have agreed to start discussions on establishing a foundational framework that ensures a fair process for workers to organize. Starbucks and the union calling the agreement a constructive path forward. In December, Starbucks said it would resume bargaining talks with the union in an attempt to mend its strained relationship with some employees. Starbucks expects contract talks to be complete by the end of the year. Finally this morning, Apple is putting plans for its self-driving electric car in the rearview mirror. As first reported by Bloomberg, Apple is reversing course on Project Titan, its decade-long secretive mission to rival Tesla. Those in the company's special projects group will be moved to other departments, including the artificial intelligence division. Apple reportedly spent billions of dollars in research to create the car, though never publicly acknowledged its development. Apple has so far declined to comment on these reports. These are your top stories for this Wednesday. Unbiased, straight facts. That's Straight Arrow News. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great day.